The Canadian Financial Diaries Research Project is a project that started 2 years ago, and the purpose is to explore the financial lives and finances of low and modest income Canadians. I got involved in this kind of financial exclusion work in the early 2000s and realized that one of the things we had little insight about was, why do people use different types of financial services and what really helps them? So that got me thinking, how can we dig more deeply into the financial practices of low and modest middle income people? And then this financial diary methodology really took off. It was first developed by some British researchers and then later applied to the United States. And I thought, hey, what a great methodology to use in Canada. The Diaries methodology is a way to dig deeply into people's finances and to understand the dynamic of their finances. What we do is we ask our participants to, on a daily basis, track their finances. What am I buying? What am I earning? What am I saving? What am I borrowing? And then they share that with us weekly or bi-weekly.
We were collecting all this kind of quantitative data that helped us understand the picture of their finances. And we also collect qualitative data, meaning how they feel about their current ideas on finances.
We ask participants, what does this financial challenge or opportunity mean to you? What do finances mean to you? We're digging into the financial lives of people here in Winnipeg, but the financial lives of people in Toronto, Vancouver, they're not that different.
It has implications across Canada. We're looking at the ups and the downs, the flows, the ways that people make decisions about their finances.
I learned about the Diaries Project from a pamphlet inside the Legal Aid Center.
I heard about it through a Society for Manitobans with Disabilities.
I joined Seed Winnipeg a financial literacy program. From there, I came to know that Financial Diary is recruiting.
I was motivated to join the project because I thought the scope of the research was going to wind up being very beneficial to a lot of people here in Canada. Personal finances touches everybody, and there are a lot of tough decisions for people to make in today's day and age about how they spend their money.
When you are in limited budget, sometimes you lose your track. Sometimes you are lost. You don't know what to do.
I just wanted to contribute to educating people. If this project was going to come out with something that was going to teach people about personal finances, I wanted to help out.
Regular meetings with them would be just check in, how's it going, any unusual expenses, borrowing, saving, income, that kind of thing. And then if there was, just to chat with them about that.
I was provided a chart to track all my expenses, inflows and outflows, so I can keep record of my expenditure.
I didn't actually understand in the beginning, and I thought, okay, there's a piece of paper. What am I really doing with this? But as it progressed, I thought, this does make a little sense because it just teaches how to actually maintain your money, which you don't always do.
You're more aware of where the money's going, or what you put the money on, or what you could get rid of to make your bills less.
A lot of the work really involved building and maintaining relationships with our diary participants.
Getting people to come in on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis and to care about the quality of the data they're providing is really important. And so they cared about coming in, they cared about having that conversation about their finances.
We have almost 15,000 transactions from our close to 30 participants. So that just shows you the richness of the data set. And you can't get that kind of richness, that kind of dynamic from a survey.
In a survey, you don't have that personal accountability. You're not meeting with someone, you're not talking about it. There aren't additional things that you might be getting from that conversation. So I think it was really important to use this methodology.
We talked and we connected. If you don't connect with somebody, it doesn't work.
It wound up being rather therapeutic, actually, to come on a weekly basis and talk about all these important decisions that you're making with your finances that you don't often get to talk about in regular conversation with other people.
In this process, we're getting to know people, people are getting to know us, and we learn more because they trust us. Every 3 months, we had a bigger conversation with our participants where we talked deeper. We asked them, what does it mean in your mind to be financially well? What we found is that when people feel that their financial behavior and decisions are flowing from their core values and the principles that they try to live their lives with, that's when they're feeling that their finances are in a good place. Another thing is to distinguish between needs and wants. They felt that their financial well-being was strong when they focused on their needs and they didn't get taken away by their wants.
A lot of the participants talked about how it was so very important to be able to make decisions for themselves and not necessarily have to depend on others to make those decisions or to help them meet their needs, that they have control.
So financial well-being wasn't that you're, this really rich person, you can go wherever you want. It was that, hey, I've got my needs met and a little bit more, and I've got more control over my life, and my finances reflect my values.
The data that we have tells stories about the finances of low-income people here in Winnipeg, which is a really important story to understand.
Some of the things that I learned include the importance of community. Some of our participants couldn't go and get a loan or don't own a credit card because their income is lower than what these companies are willing to work with. So where do they go? Well, it's from a family member, a friend, or kind of this broader kind of community supports that are available. Here's a surprising thing. The folks on social assistance, their finances were more stable than folks who were working in casual jobs. It kind of points to this idea of the welfare wall, that it's difficult for people who rely on welfare, on social assistance, it's difficult for them to move into the workforce because in some cases the first, place where you end up in the workforce is casual employment. We can actually see these different groups and kind of understand more clearly how one might transition from one group to the other. The final thing I noticed was the importance of information. People actually, in some cases, were eligible for certain products or services, whether they're banking services or government services, but they didn't have the information. There needs to be something further that supports that person. Yeah, the person needs the information about it, but we need to support that person to go and get it. One of my hopes is that the Financial Diaries here will inspire others in other centers to do a similar kind of thing. We will be sharing the results with policymakers and practitioners and saying, hey, this is what we learned. What can you tell us about how policy and practice may be influenced by this?
How can this process of the diaries, how can this data that we've come up with help them shape programs that really work for people?
Also, we hope to hear from policymakers and practitioners, okay, how can we do phase 2 differently? Like, are there new insights that we need to focus on for phase 2 to add more to your understanding of the financial lives of low and modest income Canadians? We have that aspiration to support folks working for financial empowerment right across the country.